Welcome, y'all, to Sunday Night Live. Thank you for coming to my live video. So here's the thing, y'all. I am going to be real with y'all today. This is going to be a really real conversation. It took me a while to sit down and take my notes, but I don't want you to turn away from this live. If you can, I want you to stay the whole time, especially if you have a nonprofit. If you've started a nonprofit, you're trying to decide whether it's for you. All of this is for y'all in all of those categories. Okay. I just want to be clear though that this is going to be a hard conversation though. That's why it took me a while when I was taking my notes and stuff, because I wanted to say the right thing and I wanted to be taken the right way. I wanted to frame it the right way. But I really, really want you to listen to what I have to share today. If that is your dream, your desire to have a nonprofit or for your nonprofit to be successful. Okay, so I'm going to share today 3 attitudes or 3 things you just have to grasp. You just have to understand when you're starting a nonprofit. And I'm not going to just talk about the paperwork. I'm not just going to talk about, make sure you have a board and all that. That's a given. You watch any of my videos, you won't hear me talk about that. But tonight I'm going to talk about you. I'm talking to you, founder. I'm talking to you. I'm pouring into you because I just feel like I need to speak to y'all. I need to speak to the founders. We need to have a heart to heart. All right. So y'all know the drill. Say your name, say where you're from, say what your nonprofit does. Introduce yourselves because you never know who is watching in the chat. If you don't know me, my name is Tiffany. Let me just be clear. I'm not a spammer. I'm an actual person. Can we just get that out the way? I'm an actual person. Yes, you may get an automatic message from me in a DM, but I literally go through all of my messages and you are talking to me. Can we get that out the way, y'all? If any of y'all have actually spoken to me on the phone or seen me on Zoom, just raise your hand because come on now. We need to stop the madness on my comments and on my pages. Lord have mercy. But I'm Tiffany. I started Boss on a Budget to help people start their nonprofits and raise money for their nonprofits because I have been exactly where you are. And I've helped organizations raise startup money for their organizations. And I'm going to help you do the same thing. All right. So Kim says she is real. Yes, I have talked to Kim. I've talked to Kim twice. Y'all, I thought I had my water. Dang it. Coming down with something a little bit. So, all right. So, thank y'all for joining me today. And we're going to talk about what you need in order to be successful for your nonprofit. And I've realized that, look, I could talk about the skill sets that you need, but really I'm going to talk about the development of the leader because you are the person who has to be developed. You are the person who has to be trained. You are the person who has to be built for this. So I'm going to share what it takes to be built for this because this is not easy. It's not easy. And you may want to do this alone, or you may feel like this is my thing. So I don't really want anybody to be bothered by it. I just want to be able to do what I want to do. That's not the right attitude to have. So I'm going to share with you some things you can do so you can have the right mindset around this. All right. So Museum of SaaS, I think that is. I do coach in my new community. So I'm glad you say that. I'm launching my membership society on Friday. The day is finally here, y'all. Yolanda's going to be dropping the link to sign up for the wait list in the comments. And it's open on Friday. And one of the levels includes your ability to have one-on-one coaching with me. It's a monthly fee. And one of those levels is coaching. And at the end of this call, at the end of this live, I'm going to actually share some more details about the community. Sound good? We got a deal? We got a deal? All right. And y'all bear with me today. I'm not feeling too good. One in the chat. Hear me when I say this. You will not always win. You will not always win. You will get passed up and people will overlook you. Failure has to be your friend. I want you to say in the chat, failure is my friend. I want to just share some things that I have noticed because I watch what y'all say. I see your comments. I listen to y'all. I talk to people every single week. And I've noticed that a lot of people, when things just aren't happening, they're not catching momentum, a lot of times people take it personally. A lot of times people say, well, it's not fair that other organizations are getting this and we're not. Or it's not fair that, we don't have a lot of startup money. And in order to get grants, like startup grants, we have to pay people to do that. But that's the point. We don't have money. It's not fair, right? Like, so when I say not always win, I'm also using it's not fair. I'm using that statement as well. Like, you're going to feel like that sometimes. But let me tell you something. You are in a startup phase of your organization. And the people that make it through are the people who can embrace failure and keep going through it. And it's not fair. I'm just going to be honest. It's not fair. It's not fair that people who are doing the great things on the ground out of their own love for whoever they're helping, who people are paying for things out of their pockets, it's not fair that other organizations are passing you up. It's not fair that funders don't see the good work and they say you have to be in business 3 years in order to get money. It's not fair, but it's reality. So my question to you, though, is, are you going to stay there and are you going to just lament at the fact that it's not fair, or are you going to do something about it? Are you going to do something about it? Because there are so many things in my life and in other people's life that I can honestly say, it's not fair. Why did that happen to me? That's not fair. That's not right. That's not right. But if I wanted to be successful, I couldn't stay there. Because if you stay in that mindset, if you stay in those feelings, they'll make you drown. They'll make you suffer. They'll make you less productive. They'll cloud your vision. So here's what I want you to share. And I don't mean to be like I really don't, because I'm always about turning it around. I'm about to turn this around for y'all. Okay. I want to give you the right kind of mindset to have, but I need us to understand that this is going to be your reality. You're not always going to win as a nonprofit. You're going to think that, oh, I have a great mission and a great message and people are going to hear it and they're just going to support me. Right. And then you're going to put some stuff out and people are going to ignore it. And you're going to put some stuff out and people are not going to care. But I want you to say to yourself, failure is my friend. I see some people putting that in the chat. Hey, Frida, failure is my friend. What I want you to do when things don't work, I want you to ask yourself, what worked about that situation and what didn't? And whatever did work, go deeper, go in. And whatever did not work for you, find another way, tweak it, shift it, change it, and move on. Okay? That's what I want y'all to do. I don't want you to get caught up in the it's not fair. I don't want you to get caught up in the we didn't win or people overlooked us. Just know that's going to happen. That is not a reflection of who you are and how good you are, how good of a person you are. It's not. So I need you to separate yourself from that and say, failure is actually my friend. And I'm going to take notes. I'm going to take notes on what happened and I'm going to come back stronger. I'm going to come back different. I'm going to come back harder. Is anybody in agreement with me? Anybody okay? Like y'all still here? I need y'all to get that, because if you come into this assuming that everybody's just going to love what you do and love you, because I'm pretty sure there are people in your life that love you who think you're the best thing since sliced bread. But if you come into this thinking people are going to see your light and see your goodness and just reward you for it, they're not. Not necessarily. But that's okay, because that doesn't have to reflect what you do. Just know that you're not always going to win. And there are things you're going to fail at, and there are things you're going to fail at horribly. So what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? That's number one. All right. Number two, We're knocking this out quick, y'all. And I'm knocking them out quick because I want to give time to answer your questions today. And also, I want to give time to share a little bit more about my membership society and answer questions about that because I know I've gotten a few questions about that. All right. Here's the second thing that you got to embrace, you have to understand. People are not going to honor your work. And I want to say this because I think this is the one that hurts the most for people, particularly when it comes to your board. People are not going to see you. They're not going to see all the work that you do. Being a nonprofit founder is a thankless job. It is. People may see that you're putting all your time and energy into it, and they may see that you're putting all of your money into it, but they're not necessarily going to honor or lift you up. All right? They're not necessarily going to give you your flowers. And you're going to feel like, I'm literally putting my heart and my soul into this. Can I at least get a thank you? Can I at least get you're doing a good job? Can I at least get that? You know what's the hardest thing about having your own thing, having your own business, running your own organization? You're the top of the top. So you have to be responsible for making sure everyone feels welcomed and making sure everyone feels appreciated and they're engaged. But who's doing that for you? Hey, Veronica? Nobody. That's the reality a lot of times. There may be some people who do honor you. I'm not saying that it's always going to be like this, but there are going to be a lot of moments where you're going to feel like nobody is seeing all the work that I'm doing. There's nobody who's above you who's going to say, oh, you did a good job today. Oh, you knocked it out on that grant proposal you wrote for the first time. And you had never done this before, but you figured it out. People could be like, oh, you wrote that email newsletter, and I know how long you've been struggling with that email newsletter. And guess what? You finally put it out there, even though you were scared and didn't know diddly squat about what you were doing and never, ever done that before. There's not going to be a lot of people in your life who's going to recognize that and who are going to honor you for it. Okay? So what I need y'all to understand is that you can't go into this seeking that honor or seeking people to celebrate you. This is what I want you to do, though, because the reality is you are doing a good job. That's why I get on here on live to encourage you. You are doing a good job. You're doing what you need to do. You're doing your research. You're figuring it out, even though this stuff is so hard. And you didn't expect it was going to be like this. You need to hear that. But as the leader, people aren't going to comfort you. They're not going to congratulate you. They're just not. And then the moment somebody congratulates you, let me tell you, the next day, somebody's going to be talking smack about you. That's just what it is. It's a thankless job. But what I want you to do in response is to create a culture of thankfulness and gratefulness anyway. I want you to create a culture where you're always saying thank you to your board. You're always saying thank you to your donors. You're always saying thank you to your clients. I want you to promote a culture where everyone is seen, everyone is acknowledged, and everyone is celebrated. I want you to create that culture because eventually that will come back to you. And even if it doesn't, that creates such a healthy environment for the people you're serving as a leader. LaDonna said, that's exactly what I'm going through right now, Tiffany. Oh, I know, y'all. I know. That's why I'm saying this. This is not an easy live for me to do. And it's not going to feel good to hear all of this. But I'm giving you things to look at it differently to turn it around. But there's the other thing I want you to do. And I really need you to hear me. And if you have your notebook out, I need you to take your notebook out and I need you to write this down. Prioritize your self-care. I'm going to look in the camera. Prioritize your self-care. Prioritize your self-care. Do not sacrifice yourself for your mission. Do not sacrifice yourself for your mission. Now, I'm going to break this one down a little bit because some of y'all are going to be like, What do you mean? This is my calling. And I have to go hard for these people because nobody else will. I completely get it. I was raised to be selfless. I was raised to almost be like a martyr. You do things for people, even at your own expense. You do things for people, even if it hurts you. Because what matters is what other people get and what they need. That's what matters most. And I've realized living a life like that makes you depressed, resentful, angry, unless you take care of yourself, unless you recognize, and this is going to be a cliche, but it's so true, you can't pour from an empty cup. And how can you show up and be best and model for other people when you are struggling, when you are not well? And in the end, you still need to be there for your family. You still need to be there for your children, for your spouse, for your partner, for yourself. And if you find that you're sacrificing yourself for your mission over and over and over again, I need you to take a step back and I need you to take a break. You probably didn't think I was going to say that. But if there's nothing else you can get from this live, I need you to understand that you're no good if you are constantly sacrificing yourself for your mission. All right. I just want to stop real quick because I know some of y'all don't like this. It's okay. And I want to say thank you, Cheryl Snipes, for the $10. I haven't brought my money gun out. Did I bring it out last week? Oh, well, even if I didn't, it's here now. Y'all see my money gun? Ew. Oh, you know what? Every time I try to do something special or different, it starts to act up. Cheryl, you're going to get a double shot. Thank you, Cheryl, for the $10 super chat on YouTube. All right. So one thing I've learned about the nonprofit space is the things that you invest, especially your money, you're not going to see it back. You're not going to see it back. So you got to go into this knowing that it's thankless. So you got to find your joy in this, and you got to make sure you're taking care of yourself. Hey, Miss Shauna B. Okay. All right. But let me tell you this, though. That's why, because this is a thankless job and it's very hard and you're going to get frustrated and nobody's going to acknowledge what you're doing, you need a community of people who see you and know you. You need to hear that. You need somebody to tell you you're doing a good job. You need to hear somebody tell you, I see what you're doing. I see how hard you're working. Y'all know this is why I created this society, because I don't see that anywhere. I see people talking about starting a nonprofit. I see people arguing about starting a nonprofit. I don't see people I don't see a community encouraging people as they start their nonprofits. I don't see that at all. That is exactly why I created this community. That's exactly why I'm doing this. Of course, I love to teach, and of course, I love to provide resources. That's what I believe my gift is. But I don't see like people specifically for startups encouraging you and telling you certain things that you need. Oh, Kim said, I've been at this for 20 years and there's no community like yours. Oh, thank you, Kim. And thank you, my namesake, Tiffany, for the $10. Thank you, Miss Sean B. I see certain groups. I do see certain groups on nonprofits. I do. I don't see those focused on necessarily just on startups and new. But whatever it is, whatever you see, wherever you are, find your community, find your people. You need it. Even if it's not with me, find your people, find your community. All right. LaDonna said, we just got approved for the Canva for nonprofits. Thanks for the gym, Tiffany. Congratulations, girl. Everybody congratulate LaDonna in the chat. All right. Number 3, last one. Whew. This one is hard, y'all. Success will reward those who seize the opportunity. Success will reward those who seize the opportunity. So I was always taught that if you do this, like say, if you work hard and you do everything the right way, then good things will come. I learned as I got older and wiser. I saw what you said, Miss Shauna B. Thank you for clarifying. I'll call that out. I learned as I got older, though, that sometimes you can do all the right things, do what you feel like is the right thing to do, and stuff still happens. And I don't mean stuff, you know? And what I have learned, especially for startup nonprofits, there's a, you got to have the right skill sets and you got to plan, absolutely. But there's also timing and there's also you taking risks. And if you are not willing to take risks, if you're not willing to strike when it's time to strike, when you see an opportunity, even if that opportunity may fail because failure is your friend, if you're not willing to seize the opportunity, it'll slow your growth. This really hurts you when you question things, when you overthink, when you overplan, when you hesitate. This happens a lot when people tell me they want to reach out to an organization or a person and reach out to this person and say this or ask them this, they're going to think this about me, or they're going to assume this about me in my organization. But at some point, you have to realize that doesn't matter. What matters is you doing what you need to do to get to your goal. Sometimes it takes the risk of talking to somebody you are terrified to reach out to. Sometimes it's taking the risk and asking for what you know you need, but you are so scared that it will be too much, that you're too much. And 9 times out of 10, I've noticed that people, for y'all, you never ask for enough. So whatever number you're thinking in your head probably is fine because you never asked for enough anyway. So I want to push you to seize opportunities, right? Sometimes you have to work and work and work, even if you don't see an immediate return, because you see the potential for an opportunity and you got to take it. Sometimes you got to do something new that you've never done before, but you got to try it because in the trying, you're going to learn something or be introduced to something that you never would have been introduced to if you hadn't tried it. And the reality is, you may fail, but you still did it. You still seized the opportunity. And what I want you to think about all the people in your life, all the people that you've met, all the people you've interacted with, all the people you've worked with, you've seen socially, who could potentially change things for your business or for your nonprofit. And you didn't ask them because you felt like they would say no. You felt like it had been too long since you had talked to them. You said, well, they don't really want to hear from me. They're going to think I look dumb. I don't have all my ducks in a row. So I don't want to reach out to them. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on. So you're convincing yourself that I just can't do it. Just not good enough. And I found that the people who are more aggressive and who don't care about the little things like that are able to grow faster. The people who are more assertive and willing to take risks and talk to people grow faster. Now, this takes you having an attitude of confidence. This takes you knowing I know what I'm doing, right? I may not know all the intricate details about what it takes to run this, but I know that this service that I'm creating is needed. And I know that I have a level of expertise, that I know something that nobody else knows. Somebody needs to hear from me. Somebody needs to know what's going on. They need to partner with us. That's the attitude it takes. I have something to offer. I deserve to be here, and you need to hear what I have to say. You may not like what I have to say. You may not be receptive to it. but you're going to hear what I have to say. It takes having that kind of attitude and building yourself up in that way to feel comfortable to take those risks. Because when you don't believe you have what it takes, you're not going to reach out to people. You're not going to do different things because you're scared that you barely got it together. You barely feel like you have it together. So what I'm trying to explain to y'all is your success always starts with you. The measure of success for your nonprofit starts with you. It starts what you think about yourself. It starts what you believe about yourself. It starts with what you believe what the possibilities are for yourself and for your organization. And if your ceiling is here, or if your ceiling is here, then that's as far as you're going to go. But if you push yourself to think bigger and be bigger, then you have no idea the opportunities that will come your way. I was terrified to get on YouTube because I was very scared that somebody would, say something or put a comment on my page, and say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, right? One person would say something to completely derail me, but I had to push past that discomfort and take a risk. It was a risk for me to get on camera. It was a risk for me. Whether it feels like it or not, it was a risk for me to show up. Sometimes, I'm going to be honest, I was looking a hot mess, but I did it anyway. It was a healing I needed anyway. But what I'm trying to say to y'all is the very thing that you're trying to reach is past your comfort zone. And you got to take that risk. Because if I hadn't taken that risk and gotten on YouTube, I would not be here today. If I hadn't kept going after I started one membership community, shut it down, started another one, shut it down, was going live on Facebook, stopped going live on Facebook, started going live on Instagram again, stopped again. If I didn't keep pushing myself to do something different, to keep going, I honestly would not be here today. I wouldn't have gotten on not on national news. The Lord must be speaking to my life. I must be getting on national news. Okay. I wouldn't have gotten on local news. I wouldn't be here today. So that's my encouragement to y'all. I'm going to recap, and then I'm going to stop and answer questions. And I'll be honest, I see a lot of comments going in the chat. I can't see a thing. I cannot see. My allergies are kicking up, y'all. So I'm a little under the weather. All right. So recapping, this is what I need you to understand about having a nonprofit. You will not always win. You will get passed up. People are going to overlook your organization. Failure has to be your friend. That's number one. Number two, I want you to get comfortable with not being honored and instead create a culture of thankfulness and gratefulness at your organization. It starts with you. Your culture of your organization starts with you and how you treat every single person. And in that, I want you to prioritize yourself, take care of yourself, and take breaks. Do not sacrifice. I can never say that word. Do not sacrifice yourself for your mission. And I mean that. And if you're doing it, I'm going to come and I'm going to get you. Number three, success rewards those who seize opportunities. So you got to be on the lookout for the opportunities that come your way, and you got to be ready to pounce. Sometimes you can't hesitate. Sometimes you just got to go for it. Okay. Whew. Lynn said, this is my year of transparency. Lynn, that's a word right there. I think, honestly, that's for a lot of people. Let's be real. All right. So let me scroll through the comments. And then as I'm scrolling through the comments, I'm going to answer some questions about the questions is, what is it? Like, is it something you got to log into? It's actually a private Facebook group, but also it's you get access to a private video library. And I have over 50 videos that I've recorded in the past about fundraising and also templates for fundraising that you'll instantly get access to when you join the society. And it's 3 different levels, but any level can get access to those videos. and any level gets access to the private group. And as soon as y'all start filling in the group, you're going to get assigned accountability buddies, and we're going to meet as a team, as everybody, as a community, every Monday morning. You're going to get a conference call number. We're going to log in, and I'm going to give you your encouragement and an assignment for the week. As you start going up in tiers, so the base level, everyone gets that. Tier 2 gets a group training from me every month, and then work study sessions. And then the highest tier is the one-on-one coaching with me. If you want to work with me one-on-one, that's the way to do it through the society. I am focusing all called you back. I got to call you back. But I just wanted to acknowledge you because I see your thumbs up. Hey, Yolanda, did I miss any questions? Any questions, y'all? If you don't ask, the answer is always no. How about, look at y'all teaching. I didn't need to say nothing tonight. Look at y'all teaching. Okay. So LaDonna was sharing Canva for nonprofits. If you don't know, Canva is like a graphic design service, or like an app. You can design things. Lynn, I think you know about Canva. They have like a certain professional access that you can get for free if you're a 501c3 nonprofit. So check it out. Okay. Thank y'all for your encouragement. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Okay, I don't see any questions. Good. Okay, I'm just rolling through. Okay. All right, y'all. So I didn't see any questions. Cheryl said, can Yolanda give me a call? Oh, Yolanda, she want to talk to you. Didn't we just talk about this yesterday? Cheryl, sure. Email us at info@bossonthebudget.com and we'll see what we can do to help. God, let's read this together. I feel like we're in church. God never promised to carry me the valley of the shadow of death. He expects us to walk. It is only fair that you do the same. Thank you. You are a blessing, Sean. I love that. That's true. That's true. I think what I've noticed for a lot of people, they have like a culture shock when it comes to nonprofits, because there's just this expectation that if you have a nonprofit, that everything comes to you, right? Because people are giving to you, you're getting donations. So there's an expectation that you're going to get those grants, that all you got to do is apply and they're just going to give you that money. Or all you got to do is put out a request or a campaign and people will just throw money at you. And I'm here to tell you that's not so. So you may hear me talk on trainings or in some of my ads that you see that I help an organization do this. Like last week, I sent out an email. I talked about an organization that I helped raise $117,000. And I know you hear me say that and you're like, oh, okay, that can work for me. Well, it worked for that organization because of the right timing, the right people, the right preparation. So there were things that were put in order for, like, put in place in order for that organization to win at that time. But sometimes for you, it's not the right timing. Sometimes for you, it's not your time to hit. And you could put out a perfectly good campaign and it not go over well, right? That's why you cannot take these things personally. What matters more than anything is that you keep going. If you believe that this is your calling, if you believe that this is where you need to be, then what matters more than anything is for you to keep going. That's what matters most. That's what matters most. Okay? So I don't want you to ever approach this as if everything's going to be handed to you, because you're going to get very upset and frustrated when it doesn't. And that's when it's going to discourage you. When you are not prepared that this is going to be a valley, this is going to be rough, then when the rough patches hit, you're going to be really confused. You're going to be like, wait a minute. This person said they were going to help me, or this person said that this is what they were going to do. Your board member is going to leave you hanging. Sometimes your funder is going to act like they're going to fund you and give you money, and they're not going to give you money. Things change. People say they're going to support. People say they're going to show out for you, and they don't. And then the flip side is sometimes that does happen. But I want you to be prepared for either or. And either or is not going to phase you because you got work to do. And I want you to focus on that instead of focusing on the valleys, the low moments and the high moments, because they both going to come. They're both going to come. All right. So thank y'all for dropping some free resources. If you're on YouTube, folks are dropping free resources for nonprofits in the chat. Go on, get some love over here, get some knowledge. And I got a question from LaDonna. Was that Mr. Amit that was on last Sunday, the accountant? Yes, Amit Thakar. He is an accountant. He's such an awesome person. So if you want to get in touch with him, you can email us at info@bostonabudget.com. And we'll connect you with Amit. And what a great idea. I would love to help. Never show. That's what it is. Especially if you are a Black nonprofit. Only 5% of foundation funding goes to Black-run nonprofits. Facts. Absolutely. And that's data right there. That's research. So, y'all, I'm done. I'm done. So I answered a few questions about the community. It's going to launch this week. If you're on the wait list, I suggest you check your email every day this week. I've been emailing y'all though. Have y'all gotten the emails? Because I sure enough have been emailing you. Like Jessica said, the work won't wait. So I'm going to answer any few questions I have, and I'm going to drop on off of here. Sabrina said, I would like to put your ebook using my Apple phone. I'm not sure I understand, Sabrina. So you can also email us at info@bostonabudget.com and ask your question, and I will try. But so people are putting TechSoup. People are putting Microsoft 365, also Google Workspace. So Google for nonprofits. They provide free email addresses for people, for nonprofits, and access to Google Drive. You get some space on your Google Drive as well. QuickBooks gets the discount through TechSoup. There are so many nonprofit discounts that you can get at normal apps and services that are out there. Okay, Sabrina, just let me know which product you want to purchase, and I will send it to you. Is it the startup workbook? Let me know. How do I get so many followers? How do you get so many followers on YouTube? Good question. I should do a class on YouTube. Really, the thing about YouTube is that it rewards consistency. So YouTube is a long game, but I suggest, I'm just freeballing at this point, y'all. So just whatever questions come my way, come on, hit me with it. But with YouTube, it's a long game, and you have to put out a lot of videos, and you need to be consistent at least once a week in the beginning. And you need to, like, your goal needs to be like 100 videos, honestly. With YouTube, it's like Google, because Google owns YouTube. So you need to be thinking about your keywords. You need to think about other videos that have a lot of views. What are the keywords that people use? What are the titles that people use? And kind of mimic that to get some traction. The other thing is that YouTube, because it's like a video platform, your thumbnails for your videos, which is the picture preview that you see on your videos, really matters, because if people are drawn to that, they click. So it's really important that a lot of people click your videos. YouTube rewards that as well. Thank you, Shakima, for the $5, girl. Thank you. So that's just like a really, really quick tutorial. I'm actually building a new YouTube channel, but I'm gonna share more about that once the society opens, because I ain't trying to tell y'all everything I'm doing just yet. But yeah. Do you have video on social media platforms? Yes. I highly suggest that you use video on any social media platform that you're using. So if you are on LinkedIn, if you are on Instagram, you're on Facebook, whatever social media platform you're on, TikTok, you don't have to be on all of them, because you don't kill yourself. But I suggest Facebook because of the fundraising tools that they have. But you should be using video. And I think by far, people are the most scared of video. Everyone I talk to who needs to raise money, when I mention social media, they start to cringe. And it doesn't have to be that difficult. You should be using video because video brings more trust. When people hear your voice, when people can look into your eyes, when they see that you're real, when they hear the stories that you tell, they're more willing to support you because there's just like this trust that's being built and this authority that's being built by you showing up using visuals. So I highly suggest that you leverage video on whatever social media platform you're using, because by far, I think most nonprofits don't. I don't see a lot of nonprofits leveraging video. And as a startup, you want to think about the things that give you an unfair advantage. You want to think about the things that you can do better because you're newer and you're smaller. So what are those things? So more established nonprofits aren't as nimble. They're not as nimble. They can't change as much. They can't really like onboard to certain technology as much. So while y'all complaining that you don't like technology or you don't like social media, that's actually the advantage that you could have over another organization so people can see you. You want to know how people get known and people go get famous? There are literally people who are famous only because they got on social media and started talking. Hello, Risa Tisa, or whatever her name is. Who the F did I marry? There are literally people who are well known because they just got on camera in their house. So if you're not leveraging video, you should. And that's why I said number 3, like seize the opportunity. But I'm serious. I know you don't want to do it, but do you want to be successful or do you want to complain? Sorry, y'all. I'm just being real. And you cannot, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. But it is an opportunity that you can leverage. And if you're not leveraging it, then you're leaving things behind. Like you're leaving opportunities behind. And I could talk all day about YouTube and social media and what it's done for me. But most of y'all found me because of YouTube. Because I decided to invest in YouTube in 2020. That's how most of y'all have heard of me or found me. So do you want people to find you? You want people to know you? Then invest in social media. Okay, let's see what else. Is it a bad idea to do events alone due to inconsistent volunteers? So I'm never going to say, black and white, something is bad or good. It just depends on what the circumstances are. Events are very difficult to do on your own. Events are very hard to execute well on your own. So you need to make sure you have a strong core of people who can help you execute, or you're going to burn yourself out. So if you still want to do an event and you want to raise your visibility, consider doing something that's kind of low impact, maybe like a virtual event or something like that, or just work on building relationships with more consistent volunteers. That may be the answer. So this is what I'm talking about when I said like failure is your friend. So that may seem like a failure that you keep getting inconsistent volunteers, but I want you to think through what are the opportunities even in that failure. So an opportunity could be, how do I find people who are more consistent, or what can I do, or what can I change to make sure they're more consistent? Like, how can I engage them in a better way? Or am I not engaging the right kind of person? Who else should I look to? Who else should I consider? Or what does make a volunteer consistent? Have I seen when volunteers have been consistent in another space? What about that made them consistent? What can I learn and what can I research about that to implement over here? So many ways to look at what can be deemed a failure to turn it around. Okay. Are links better to the YouTube videos, or should we upload the video to each platform? Social media platforms prefer native videos, I guess is the word I want to say. So I've seen that they honestly prefer things you upload into their platform, not things that you share on their platform. So they're more likely to push something that you upload yourself. Does that make sense? I'm not getting my words together the best today, but they're going to push out their own content first. So just remember, if you're on a social media platform, you got to think about what they care about. They're not just doing this for free for their health. They're trying to make money. So you got to ask yourself, what makes them money? What makes them money is when people stay on their platforms and share within their platform, because they can sell to those people, right? They can push out ads on those platforms. The longer you stay, the more you'll see, the more you'll engage, and that brings them money. So when you're pushing out another platform, right, and you're taking people away from that platform, they're not going to reward that as much because of that. Hope that makes sense. Jessica said, I have a value add resource with creative funding for nonprofits, an event I'm co-hosting this week. Is it cool to post here? Yeah, you can post it, Jessica, because I know you. Yes, you can post it here. Y'all check out Jessica's event. I think she's doing it on LinkedIn. Do I have training videos on social media? I have a lot of videos on YouTube. Those are training videos. Okay. Organic. Thank you, LaDonna. Yep. And Darby said, yes, video content. People love storytelling. My events, people come out to eat and we do engagements. All right. Thank y'all so much. I'm going to drop off. This video will be up for a little bit. You can watch later, and also tag somebody that needs to hear this information and share it with them as well. Y'all have a blessed week. All right. Have a good one, and I will talk to you later. Bye.